Hi guys, it's another video on the bank reconciliation, this time task 11.22 in your textbook. Okay, so let's start with it. This is for Advanced Step CC and the bank reconciliation. This time we are calculating the bank account balance. So that means that we will not be doing a ledger account for the bank account. We'll just be doing a calculation, which is in exams you can either do a ledger account like we did in task 11.21, or you can just do a calculation. It just depends on what the question asks. So most of the time in the bank questions, either one would work and you would get the full marks for it. We're also preparing a bank reconciliation, and then we have a question. Okay? In this question here, the previous month's bank reconciliation has been given to us. Now, if you remember correctly from last year, everything that was outstanding on the previous bank reconciliation must now be processed by the bank in this month. If it has not been processed by the bank this month, we have to deal with it depending on what the adjustments say. Okay, so if you look at your bank reconciliation on the previous month, the balance as per the bank statement that was at the end of the previous month, we do not worry about that at all. So we will not concern ourselves with the 24,000. The outstanding deposit and the outstanding checks, we will need to see if those figures have now been processed by the bank this month. If not, we will have to make the necessary adjustments. The last line, which says balance as per bank account, that's actually the starting point of our bank account balance calculation. Or if we were doing a ledger account, we would put it as the balance brought down in our ledger account. So the balance as per bank account is 21,500, okay, in the credit column, which means it's an unfavorable balance, right? So we're going to start the calculation, okay? Okay, I'm just going to put some notes here on the side so we know what this is. Now remember, in a calculation, you wouldn't actually have to put any notes because it's the figures are what's important, right? But the notes are just here for your own purposes, so you know where we got these figures from, right? So 21,500 in brackets because it's an unfavorable balance. Okay, then we have some of the provisional totals in the cash journals. Okay, so we have a CRJ total and a CPJ total. Okay, so normally you would put this on the debit side. The CRJ total would go to the debit side of the bank account, and the CPJ total would go to the credit side of the bank account. But we are doing a calculation, so we're going to add on the CRJ total and subtract the CPJ total. So 310,260 no brackets, and 254,290 in brackets. Okay, then let's get the July 20.8 bank statement included the following. Okay, so the balance on 31st July 20.8 has not been given to us. There is a question mark. So that means we do not have the balance per bank statement. And thus, if we don't have it, it's most probably going to be the balancing figure in the bank reconciliation statement. So we'll work it out at the end of the question. The next thing we have is an outstanding deposit of 5,400. Now, before we list it as an outstanding deposit, we first need to see if it related to the previous month. Now, the 5,400 was an outstanding deposit in the month of June, which has now been processed by the bank. So we can just tick it off with the previous bank recon and you don't have to do anything else with it. Then we have check 12563. Now again, check 12563 is on the previous bank recon, but it's listed there as 890. Here it is showing as 980. The bookkeeper entered the amount incorrectly as 890. So that means that our bookkeeper made a mistake in our books. So the correct amount is actually 980 and not 890. You would have to work out the difference between those two amounts, right? So we're just going to work out 980 minus 890. Okay, now this check was recorded as 890 in our books. So that means our CPJ had it as 890. Okay, but it's actually a check that was understated. So this is a check understated. Understated was supposed to be 980, we recorded it as 890. So check understated 980, the difference, sorry. So 980 minus 890 is 90 Rand. Okay. If it's a check understated, it means it needs to go back into the CPJ, and anything that goes into the CPJ will go into brackets or have a minus sign in front of it. Okay, then we have service fees. Okay, so we're just going to list the service fees here of 210. Remember, this would have been entered in the CPJ. Now we're just putting it in brackets here. Okay, then we have credit card levies. Okay, also would have been in the CPJ, but now we are listing it here in brackets. Okay, interest and overdraft as well, 770. Okay, then we have check 12585 for 780. Now before we do anything with that, check 12585 for 780 corresponds exactly to the previous month's bank recon. So that means that last month it was outstanding. This month it has gone through the bank account, a bank statement, sorry. So we don't have to do anything with it. Okay, then we have unpaid or RG checks of 2,800. Okay, now remember unpaid checks go into the CPJ. So in our calculation, we're going to put it in brackets. Okay, then we have electronic payments made by Vanstrap CC. So that's electronic, so it's EFT payments out. So EFT is out, okay, which are payments, which will go in brackets. So in brackets 3880. And then we have electronic transfers in favor of Vanstrap. So this is EFTs in. So that means our customers have paid us by EFT. Okay, so that's a CRJ entry, no brackets, 1,000 Rand. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, then we have the next bit of information. The following appeared in the cash journals only. A deposit of 3420. So this appeared in the CRJ but did not appear on the bank statement. So that means it will be on the bank recon. This is an outstanding deposit, so we're going to credit it. In the credit column, 3420. Okay. The next, the checks that which are outstanding, we're going to debit outstanding checks. Okay, and remember with checks we normally list the check numbers, so just list them quickly here. Okay, and we go into the debit column. 510 1890 and check 12599 is post dated to the 15th of August. But this is the post dated check which is issued. And if you remember, post dated checks which are issued will be outstanding on the bank recon until the date comes. Okay? There's one more check that we still need to deal with. So if you look at the previous bank recon, check 12563, we corrected the check. It was a check which was understated. And check 12585 did appear on the bank statement, so we didn't have to do anything with it. But there is check 12582. The question did not say anything about it. So we have to list it as an outstanding check again on the bank recon. So check 12582 for 1230. Now many learners would forget about their check, so you must be careful not to do that. Okay, that's all there is in the question. So now we're going to calculate the total year for our bank account. Okay, so I get an answer of 27,460. Okay, and then we're going to go to, 27,460. If you notice, my answer is positive, which means it's a favorable balance. So the bank account actually started off with an unfavorable balance at the beginning of the month, but is now a favorable balance at the end of the month. So because it's favorable, we'll say debit balance Okay, this time it's per bank account. Okay, so in the debit column, we'll put the figure 27,460. Now, if you remember, the balance on the bank statement was not given to us in this question. So it's going to be the balancing figure in the bank record. So if we look at the bank record, the debit side is definitely bigger. So we're going to put that answer in on both sides. So 31930 on both sides. And you're just going to work out the difference. So 31930 minus 3420. Is 28,510, and that appears in the credit column, so we say credit balance per bank statement. Okay, then the question 11.22.3, assume that the bank charges a 4% levy on credit card sales. Calculate the total credit card sales for the month. Okay, so if we look at our credit card levies, the credit card levies amount was 260 Rand. And this 260 Rand was calculated as 4% of sales, of the credit card sales. So we just need to work backwards to find it. So we're going to take the 260, okay? You could either, remember, so they took the sales amount, multiplied it by 4% to arrive at 260. So you could say 260 divided by 4%, or you could say 260 times 100 over 4, and you get 6,500 Rand. Okay, so that's just to work backwards to find the credit card sales for the month. Okay, that's all there is for this question. Thank you, guys. We'll be doing some more questions on the bank recon, and that will end up the reconciliation section. Bye.